In this Google Sheets tutorial, we're going to be talking about how students can make a math calculator used for multiplication or converting fractions to decimals or fractions to percents. When you're looking at this, instead of looking at this as like a way for students to cheat, they create this so that they can problem solve through how to get the answers to certain things by creating formulas. So I'm going to create a few formulas here and show you how this works. There are some problems when you create formulas and when you try and type text, such as an X or a plus sign or an equal sign in these boxes, it automatically thinks it wants to make a formula. So if I do a shift and then plus, make this bigger so you can see it. I didn't make it bigger. Let me make this bigger so you can see it. That's a little bigger. Well, as soon as you put the plus in, it wants to look for different cells to make a formula. So the plus sign is not working in there. If you type an equal sign, so if you want to do 3 times 43 and you want to put an equals here, well, as soon as you type equals, it doesn't like that either. It wants to make a formula. I thought I had a solution to this because I thought that if I, let's say I format this entire column here to be plain text, I thought that would take care of whatever I put an equals sign. It should just treat it like plain text, but it's still treating it like a formula. So that formatting is not working. I do know that works in Excel, but it doesn't seem to be working here. So back to writing up a formula. Let's do an addition problem. And what we're going to do is we're going to leave this cell blank for a student to put a number. And then instead of an actual plus sign, I'm just going to type the word plus here. And this would be another number that they're going to add, and then this would be the answer. So I'm going to surround this with a grid. I am going to center everything both vertically and horizontally, bold it, make it a little bit bigger, and now I sort of have this formatted to be more user-friendly. And then again, you can color around these to surround them and make it easier and nicer for the students when they look at that kind of thing. All right, so the only thing left that we have to do is that we have to tell Google Sheets that when we put numbers in here, we want them to add up and get the answer here. So here's where we're going to write a formula. So we start with the word equal or the sign equals, and then we want to add this cell, and now we do put a plus sign, and this cell, and then we press enter, and the answer is there. So now we have a live calculator, so whatever numbers we happen to put in here, let's put 120 plus 34, and there's your answer, 154. I don't like the word plus here instead of an actual plus sign, so maybe there's a different route to go on that. But you can do this with anything. So let's look at this number here. When I click this 33 or 0.33, what it's doing is it's taking D9 divided by D10. So when you divide the numerator by the denominator, you're going to get a decimal or the equivalent of a fraction. So the other thing that you want to do when you do these is you want to format them. So this answer I formatted to be 2 decimal places. Down here, though, when I took the numerator divided by the denominator for this formula, I formatted this to be answered in percent because that's what we're trying to do is convert a fraction to a percent. So you make all the numbers look nice, format them the right way. The only key is then where you want the student to see the answer, that's where the formula is going to be that's referencing the stuff that you fill in. So let me show you what this looks like without student answers in them. So this is what it normally would look like. This is just saying, hey, we don't know how you divide with the 0. You can ignore that. But then maybe a student creates this and then shares it with another student so that they can practice this and see if it works. And they would fill in these things and say, all right, the numerator is a 1, the denominator is a 5. Wonder what the decimal is going to be. They could guess ahead of time. As soon as you press enter, though, it spits that out because that's what we formatted the formula to be. Same thing over here. We want this fraction to show a percent. So let's do 3/6. And as soon as I press enter, 50%. Again, this isn't used for cheating. This is used for students to problem solve and to understand better the calculations that are going on behind the scenes. If they did want to cheat, I'm sure that they could just grab a calculator, or they could go to Google and say, change 3/6 to a percent, and Google would spit out the answer. So we're really not losing any ground by students making these kinds of things. We're only gaining ground by them problem solving and using some creativity in creating their own calculators.